Welcome to the Resources and Benefits panel at the 2021 Veterans Florida Virtual Expo presented by Bank of America. I'm Dan Barrow, the Communications and Marketing Director here at Veterans Florida, and we're here with the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs to discuss the resources and benefits that make Florida the nation's most veteran-friendly state. Before we get started, let's have our panelists introduce themselves. Hammer, you want to take the first one?
Absolutely, Dan. Thank you. And I really appreciate you inviting Reggie and I both to join you for this and share information about what Florida Department of Veterans Affairs is doing for our 1.5 million veterans. So retired Major General James Hammer Hartzell, Carl Stein has stuck with me for a number of years. Been with the agency now for about 2 years, was just recently appointed by the governor and confirmed or voted on unanimously by the cabinet to be the executive director. 37 years as a Marine, came in 81, enlisted, did a couple years, finished college, and then got commissioned. Had a wonderful run. Did about 12 years active duty, went into the reserves back during the Cold War. And then when 9/11 kicked in, I became very active again. The Marine Corps Reserve mobilized almost all of our reserves and just kept on working and supporting both OIF, OEF, other things, simultaneously trying to maintain a healthcare civilian job background while I was reservist. Of course, after 9/11, that was a two full-time jobs. But I had great company, great support, employer support, and did that for a number of years. And then finally retired 3 years ago, summer of 2018, and working out at the U.S. Pacific Command, moved back home to Florida, Florida resident, born and raised, and wanted to come home to Florida. And then I worked for about a year with the Pasco Sheriff Office, because I live in Pasco County. And then the governor's team asked me to come on board and support Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, which I did. Now I'm serving the veterans like me who served, and like Reggie and others. And I love it, absolutely love it.
Great, thank you. Reggie, you want to go?
Thank you again for inviting me. This is Reggie Fujimoto. I'm with the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs. I am the Bureau Chief of the Bureau of Veterans Claim Services, one of two bureaus in BNA, in addition to the state approving agency that does the education side. So I'm co-located with the VA regional office here at St. Petersburg. I have a small staff of 25 personnel, and our primary focus is doing appeals, but we garner a lot of other different areas as we'll discuss later on this morning. However, I'm an Army veteran, 26 years, retired Chief Warrant Officer. I have over 20 years of experience with working with the County Veteran Service Office as well as FDVA. So it's never ending in changes. We just have to be kind of flexible and move along. So it's been a great experience, and it's truly a wonderful experience working and helping our fellow veterans.
Great. And I know our state's veterans appreciate y'all's daily services you provide them. So let's go ahead and jump into the start of the first questions. Hammer, could you just give our audience a brief overview of the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs and the services you provide to our veterans?
Happy to, yeah. Florida Department of Veterans Affairs is a 1,500-member, constitutionally constituted chartered state Veterans Affairs department. We have a $160 million annual budget, and we're responsible for serving the nation's third largest veteran population, and we're trending to become the second largest in just a few short years. We serve as the premier point of entry for that 1.5 million Florida veterans. We operate a network of 7 state veterans nursing homes, and we provide outreach to connect veterans with their earned services, benefits, and the support that they've earned. We will have an additional 2 state veteran nursing homes that are opening later this year. At the end of the World War II, the state of Florida recognized the need to provide services for returning service members, and they created a division within the state government to connect veterans with their earned benefits, and in order to better serve veterans and their families. It's great that Florida did that, made that recognition for its great service members, those great Americans. In 1988, Florida voters overwhelmingly approved a constitutional amendment to create a cabinet agency to honor those who serve us, United States. Today, the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs is the premier point of entry for Florida veterans to access their earned services, benefits, and support.
Great. Well, thanks for that overview. Reggie, let's go over to you now. What's kind of the day-to-day like for you and your team of claims examiners as your assistant veterans with their earned benefits?
Absolutely. Our veteran claims examiners have a diverse area to cover from any given day. We number roughly about 70 to 75 veterans claims examiners throughout the state. We're co-located here at the regional office as well as the major VA medical facilities throughout the state. Things that could be included would be fielding questions on state and federal veterans benefits, which may include education, disability compensation, receipt of health care, burial eligibility of national cemeteries, and state veterans preference issues, just to name a few.
Great. Yeah, I know it really runs the gamut there. Hammer, what are some of the bigger picture projects that FDVA is working on now and in the future?
Thank you. It's a great question. One of them is our nursing homes that we're opening. I mentioned we're opening 2 new nursing homes later this year. And one is the Artie Arcopus State Veterans Nursing Home, and that's in Port St. Lucie County, Florida, over on the East Coast. And it's scheduled to open to residents in just a few short months. It's a 120-bed facility that will offer skilled nursing care, but also can accommodate 60 residents who are suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's disease. We just recently received our certificate of occupancy from the Agency for Healthcare Administration, AHCA, and we're in the process of hiring key staff. The other new facility is the Lake Baldwin State Veterans Nursing Home, which is in Orlando, on the east side of Orlando. It's also scheduled to open to residents later this year. It'll be a 112-bed facility offering the same skilled nursing care and also accommodating residents with dementia and Alzheimer's. This one is a former U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Community Living Center, which was repurposed by the VA to office spaces and about 8 years ago. Then when they opened the new VA Medical Center at Lake Nona, they were looking to get rid of it, to offload it, and they repurposed it, and we took it on as a state and they were changing it into a nursing home.
Excellent, excellent. And Reggie, we'll go back to you now. What are some earned benefits that veterans and their families might not be aware of that are offered here in Florida?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I'm not sure where to start, but let me give it a crack here. There is the College Scholarship for Deceased and Disabled Veteran Program administered by the Florida Department of Education. There is entitlement to VA healthcare services, and we can help facilitate these programs. At times, the veteran may think he or she is not entitled to the benefit, but we ask that they contact us. There are so many moving parts of which we can cross to assist, while the VA only looks at a straight path based on their organizational structure.
Cool. And kind of moving along the lines of some of the specific earned benefits, I think we all know how common it is for military families to move between states and some of the barriers that could exist in terms of, professional licensing and things like that. What kind of waivers does Florida offer military families or veterans and spouses with their professional licensing?
That's a great question. I had to look it up. In general, there are general business license and health license fee waivers. The Department of Business and Professional Regulation may waive initial licensing fees and application fees, while the Florida Department of Health has programs for healthcare professionals through application online using the Veterans Application for Licensure Online Response, or the VALOR system. I would ask that they be directed to those websites for specific instances of license requirements.
Reggie, I'll send this one to you. Florida is known as a low tax state in general. What tax benefits does Florida offer veterans and their families?
Yes, Florida is a low tax state, a very good incentive, I think. It certainly was a factor when I decided to come to Florida some years ago. For example, if you are a property owner, the veteran may be eligible for various types of tax exemptions and tax discounts to be applied against the home property taxes. In some cases, the entire ad valorem tax may be waived.
And I also, I want to jump in on that one as well, Dan, just to say that, you know, I'm a Florida resident. I enlisted and raised my right hand in Pensacola, Florida. 40 years ago, next week is when I enlisted. And I have kept Florida as my home of record. And there's a reason why, because it's a no tax state. And when I was offered opportunities to go to other places when I retired 3 years ago, one, I had family here, so I need to come here, but I was not planning on taking my family anywhere else. We're staying in Florida because of all the good benefits, and one of which is our low taxes.
And I'll also add that Florida has no state income tax, personal income tax, and no tax on military retirement. So that's one other thing that we're real proud of. Hammer, we talked a little bit earlier about some of the nursing homes you have coming online, but I understand you all also have some big initiatives over the next couple of years at FPVA. Could you fill us in on some of those?
Yeah, I would like to talk about some of the key legislation that was just recently passed in this legislative session, because some of it is very related to veteran employment in the state of Florida. So there's 4 key pieces of legislation, veteran-related legislation, that are pending Governor DeSantis' pen for signature. And we're very excited about this. One is House Bill 231, which is services for veterans and their families. It was by Representative Artie Zika and Senator Gail Harrell on the Senate side. And as part of the state's focus on mental health care and veteran suicide prevention, in conjunction with the Crisis Center Tampa Bay and others, this legislation requires the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs to establish the Florida Veterans Care Coordination Program to provide and expand behavioral health care referral and coordination services for veterans and their families, and to partner with all of the Florida's 2-on-1 network participants to provide some services. It's a great bill. We're excited about it. And, you know, we're happy about that one. We're happy about all of them. That's a great one for all of our veterans and their families. That's what makes it important to me. Another one is House Bill 7023, which is the Veterans Treatment Court by Representative Corbett. And on the Senate side, it was Senator Danny Burgess, one of our alumni of the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, our former executive director. And this legislation creates uniform standards and procedures for Florida's current and future veterans treatment courts. It allows a court with criminal jurisdiction to create and administer a veterans treatment court, which may adjudicate felonies and misdemeanors, with the exception of pretrial intervention of misdemeanor criminal traffic offenses. But this is great because this is going to expand some great practices that are taking place in a number of our counties. Hillsborough is one of them that has a great VTC court. And we're going to get that across the state, as I like to say, from Pensacola to Key West, so that all of our veterans have the opportunity to take advantage of this benefit, this legislative legal benefit. We also have House Bill 435, which I know is very important to Veterans Florida. It's the Veterans Employment and Training by Representative Tyler Sirios, and the Senate side was Senator Tom Wright, a great American, great Floridian. This legislation creates a statewide awareness and employment program built on the Department of Defense Skill Bridge program. That program allows service members to gain workforce training at civilian employers while still on active duty as they transition out of the military, off active duty, and become a veteran. It designates Veterans Florida, and Florida is for Veterans, Inc., as the state's principal skill bridge assistance organization to employers and transitioning service members. Another great opportunity. I've known several companies in Florida that have used SkillBridge, and again, reinforced success. It works so well for both Florida's businesses, but also for veterans who are service members who are becoming veterans. Another one is Senate Bill 922, Veterans Preference and Employment, again by Senator Danny Burgess, and on the House side by Representative James Buchanan. And in order to promote veterans employment, this legislation authorizes state and political subdivisions to waive certain post-secondary educational requirements for employment for certain service members and veterans, in addition to requiring each political subdivision to develop and implement a veterans recruitment plan. It modifies point preferences given to veterans and their family members when a numerically based selection process is being used for hiring. Again, another great thing. And then finally, I want to mention that as the new executive director, or the appointed executive director for Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, there's 2 areas that I want to focus on in our 1.5 million veterans. All of them, of course, from the veteran that just becomes a veteran today because he comes off active duty, yes, to the veteran who's the oldest living veteran in Florida and everything in between. But within that population, there's two groups I think I want us to do more for. One is the Vietnam veterans. We have 500,000 Vietnam veterans in the state of Florida. That's larger veteran population than most states, total veteran population in the rest of the nation. And I want to do more to connect with them, to make sure that they know what benefits they've earned and deserve, and to make sure they're getting the information that we want to get to them. The second one is just as important, and that's women veterans. Our Florida women veterans. We have 165,000 female veterans in the state of Florida. That's the second highest population in all the nation. Again, I want to connect with them. I want them to know what their benefits are, and I want to communicate with them more than we have in the past. So those are two key focuses that I'm looking to do going forward.
Yeah, I think those are some really great ideas and great initiatives. And, you know, the legislature and the governor year over year have really stepped up to help our veterans, as well as, you know, really been open to interesting new ideas like SkillBridge, and really taken advantage of that. So our veterans can have the best transition possible and stay here in Florida with their skills. So we really appreciate the governor and the legislature's leadership and your help with getting a lot of that stuff implemented. Reggie, what is the best way for a veteran to contact FDVA, and what sort of documents should they have ready, or any steps they should take to get the most out of your services?
Yes, the best advice is not to wait. Seek out one of our field offices located at the major VA healthcare facilities, or visit us at the VA regional office, or make appointments with our partners, one of the 67 county offices throughout the state. If an in-person attendance is not viable, we have online presence through our helpline. You can call in, and that would be at 727-319-7440. Or you can email us at vso@fdva.state.fl.us. We also have a virtual appointment request at the following number, 727-319-7408. Trying to cover all aspects, including the digital world. So trying to reach out and touch our 1.5 million. We have a lot of folks that need our assistance. As far as documents are concerned, I would say the key document that one should have when they meet with us is at least bring your DD-214, which is your military discharge paper. Everything else we can handle and we're flexible on, but at least the DD-214 would be the most important document when meeting with us.
And I would like to reinforce, just especially for all the Marines who are listening in, because we like you Army guys can retain that information really well, Reggie. But for the Marines, the number to call for a Veterans Claim Examiner, 727-319-7440, or email at the VSO@fdva.state.fl.us. I'm so proud of Reggie and all the team that they have and what they're doing, connecting the millions and millions of federal dollars that they help get our veterans connect to, federal dollars that are being spent in our Florida economy. I mean, I'm going to recruit as many veterans as possible. We are the most veteran-friendly state in the nation, but I also want us to be the most veteran sought-after state in the nation. I want to poach and take as many veterans from the other 49 and state territories to come to Florida. We want those great Americans living here. Also, follow us on social media. All this information Reggie and I talk about is accessible through our social media sites. And it's at our floridavets.org. It's very simple, floridavets.org. Look that up. And we have a monthly newsletter that we send out, so you can sign up for it and you'll get updates, key updates that we push out. So I really encourage everyone listening to get on our website, call the phone numbers, and just subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll get good information. So appreciate it.
And to build on that, when a veteran is seeking assistance, when should they contact the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, and when should they go to the VA?
Let me jump in on that one. I want to caveat the fact that even though we share the name, we have different sides of the fence that we represent. I would like to best describe us as being an advocate for the veteran, whereas the best way, an analogy with the VA is that they're the fox guarding the hen house. So we'll give you an honest assessment, and again, we can work, and we're more flexible in terms of the overall picture. The VA has a very rigid focus based on their organizational structure, whereas we're a little bit more freer in terms of we look at all aspects of the benefit scheme and how best to achieve that for the veteran.
Great. Well, that is good to know that we've got our veterans have such great advocates like you and your team. Just to wrap things up, Hammer, any parting thoughts you want to give before we wrap up?
No, I want to say how much I appreciate Veterans Florida, Joe Marino, the whole team, Dan, all of y'all, and what you're doing to help connect our Florida veterans and those who want to be a Florida veteran to employment and to education of employment services. Really appreciate that. We have a lot of partners in the state of Florida. You know, the one thing that we did in our Forward March assessment 2 years ago was to go all around the state, Florida to Miami, and did several listening sessions to find out what's working well in different parts of the state, and then where are the gaps for services for veterans. And we took that information and we put together a plan, a battle plan, if you want, an operational plan, to try to share best practices and services in the less service, more underutilized areas. And then to reinforce the success of where things are working great. And again, that's what we're doing to make us the most veteran friendly and most veteran sought after state in the nation. So again, I appreciate you letting us join in on this today and love working with y'all. Great partners.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. This has been the Earned Benefits and Resources panel here at the Veterans Florida Virtual Expo presented by Bank of America. We thank them for their ongoing support. And Hammer Hartzell, Reggie Fujimoto, we appreciate you joining us today at the Expo and looking forward to seeing everyone soon.